Now, just a fair warning, this video is going to be much more beneficial if you just listen to it. There's not going to be anything to really watch. I'm inside at my desk that I use to edit, and it's been raining for a week straight. So we're going to sit down right here and do a video. What we're talking about is the taboo subject of outside the waistband or open carry. I decided that, well, first, let's go ahead and clear it. There's no magazine in the gun, and the chamber is empty. So, got a clear gun. This is a Falco outside the waistband leather holster. Falco did send this holster out, and I will say it is top notch. We'll get into that in just a little bit. The taboo subject of open carry or outside the waistband carry is pretty controversial. I was on one side of the fence very strongly, and then decided to see what this is all about. So I'm going to carry it for 60 days. So that's what I've done. I carried outside the waistband or open carried for 60 days. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what I found over those 60 days, talk about my experience. So starting off with the things that people don't like about open carry. The biggest one is you make yourself a target. That is the case in some situations, but ultimately what it comes down to is the situation that you deem is most likely. And to be completely honest, now, I will go ahead and preface this by saying I'm not giving you legal or tactical advice. I'm just telling you my experience and the thought process that I have with this whole shebang. So situations you're most likely to be in. Is it likely that somebody's going to come in and they're going to deem you a target because they see that you're open carrying a gun? Maybe. But I don't think that it's likely. Reason being is most shootings or mass shootings or whatever you want to call it, whatever type of situation you've got conjured up is what you think would be likely. I can't imagine those people are coming in there and they are really scouting out the people that are in there. Typically, it's kind of spur of the moment. Once they make entry into the building or wherever it is they're going to be, they go ahead and start blasting away. And coming from quite a bit of experience shooting a competition level and even hunting and whatnot, once that adrenaline kicks in and you get ready to go, not that a mass shooting is a competition, but I have to imagine that they're not in a super calm, clear state of mind right before that happens. And I don't think they're identifying who's got guns and who doesn't. It's just coming in and they see targets. I could be wrong about that, and they could deem you a target and take you out first. Now, they don't. That's really about the only one that people complain about is you take away the element of surprise. To be honest, I'm not really concerned about that. I stopped caring about printing, even when carrying appendix a while back. I was like, yeah, there's no point in stressing out about that because honestly, most people don't notice. And that was the biggest thing when I started open carrying is people going to notice that I'm carrying a gun day to day? No, I think I had 2 comments made over the 60 days, and I started really paying attention to the people around me because I wanted to see if they would look down and see the gun even when it's out in the open. And I caught very few people that even made a look down at it. Not to say that I caught everybody that did, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that noticed it that I didn't notice them. But it's not that big of a deal. Most people are so consumed in their day-to-day life, they don't know that you're carrying a gun. Especially if you're carrying appendix or you've got a shirt over it, they're not going to see it, I promise. They have to intently be looking for it. And most people just are not doing that. Now, that's about the only thing that people don't like. My biggest concern with open carry wasn't about being a target. It was about somebody being able to take my gun. We've all seen those videos of people in gas stations and whatnot, and somebody comes in and snatches the gun out of their holster. And that's why I didn't go with an Uncle Mike's nylon, $5 holster. This is a Falco. It's really, really heavy duty leather, and talking with them about what I wanted to do and what I was looking for. Well, for one, this has a slight cant to it. So when it's on my side, it's canted this way, which means that if you're coming from behind, it's not going to pull straight out. You're going to have to basically pull it that way. And the biggest thing was I wanted some sort of active retention. So this does have the thumb snap on the back. And unless you're coming from straight down on top of the gun, it's very, very difficult to actually break that snap. You're not going to be able to just rip it out of there. It's not happening. So for one, open carry made me pay attention to people because I wanted to see who was seeing my gun. It was also this constant reminder of I do have a gun on me and I need to pay attention to the people around me. So it made me become more aware of the people around me, more aware of my surroundings. I wanted to see who was looking to see that I've got a gun. I also wanted to make sure that nobody had ill intentions of actually stealing my gun. But like I said, this has got active retention. If you're the one that is in possession of the gun, it doesn't take hardly any time to break that snap. It's just straight down on it and the snap breaks. But if you're a bystander, you're going to have a hard time getting this thing out without a fight. So now let's talk about what I actually like about open carry. And obviously the biggest one is comfort. I carried this through the hottest months here in the Carolinas, and it was a breath of fresh air, let me tell you. Instead of having that gun inside my waistband all day, every day, it was nice being able to get it over on the side. It's not, just caked in sweat, not grinding. It's super comfortable, especially this leather holster. It just kind of conforms. I will say with the leather holster, I wouldn't do this with a striker fired gun. It's just my personal opinion. I don't think that leather is sturdy enough to fully protect that trigger, but being that this is the CZ Shadow 2 carry, it's a double action, single action, so it's a hammer fired gun, which means that I can throw it in double action and I don't have to worry about it quite as much. And also this snap over the back that protects the hammer, so the gun can't go off unless that hammer goes to the rear and falls forward. So it's very safe with double action, single action, or some sort of hammer fired gun with the hammer dropped up against the slide, or if you've got a safety. But again, with a striker fired gun, I wouldn't recommend going leather holster. But obviously super duper comfortable. The next thing that I really liked about it is it's going to sound kind of counterproductive to when I said not being a target, but this is just kind of a just in case thing. Well, I am over the security at my church, so I'm by the door every single Sunday, and I like being able to show people that I've got a gun. For the people that go to the church, they know me, they know what I do. It's no surprise. They know that I'm carrying a gun, but I like them being able to see that I do have a gun on me. It gives them a little bit of peace of mind. And then for situations where somebody might be coming in to identify the church, maybe identify weak points, a potential threat, I'm okay with them seeing that I've got a gun as well, even if it's just a slight deterrent. Now you might say, well, if they come back, then you're going to be their first target. Well, I hope that I am. I hope that they would target me before somebody else. I like my chances better than I like most everybody else's chances. Also, if they're targeting me, that gives somebody else the opportunity to take them out and somebody else to walk out the door. And that's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make, is for them to target me first. Chances are that they're going to be deterred by seeing a gun at the front door and know they're at least going to have to get through one person with a gun before they can cause harm. But even if they go in and then they decide they're going to cause harm, they're probably going to look for me, and there's obviously indicators that you can look for on people's intentions. And if I deem somebody suspicious, they come in, chances are I'm going to be nearby watching them. They turn to see me. Well, I know they've got to turn to me to take me out before they can take anybody else out. So again, it's steps of identification, and this whole process of identifying people's intentions the best that you can. So again, I like showing people, especially in church, that I do have a gun. Now, again, not legal advice. I think in South Carolina, at least, that you're not allowed to carry in a church without written permission from the pastor or the staff of the church. So I'm not recommending you just go open carry into a church. For instance, if you come into my church open carrying, I'm probably going to stop you, and we're going to have a little bit of a conversation. Obviously, that's not a big deal, and if you're concealed carrying, I'm not going to see it and, have at it. Again, being able to show that you've got a gun, this is a lot harder to conceal if you do need to conceal it, whether you're going into somewhere that you're not legally supposed to be carrying. Like I had to take it out the other day to go into a federal credit union. They didn't have metal detectors or anything, but I just had no way of hiding it. It was going to be very obvious that I was carrying a gun. So I couldn't skirt through the cracks with this hanging off of my hip like I can with the inside the waistband appendix carry. I'd carry that as anywhere they don't have metal detectors. But again, not legal device. But again, I don't think that it's as taboo as we all believe. If it's really comfortable, it gives me the opportunity to bring comfort to people should a situation come up. We even had one the other week at church, and a lady came in and started tweaking out pretty bad about midway through service, was hollering cuss words and getting really, moving really frantically, and she was drawing on herself with a pen. She was just cracked out. And it was making people nervous. She was getting borderline aggressive. So I stepped in the sanctuary. I saw her come in. She came in fine, and then she started tweaking out in the middle of service. So I stepped inside the sanctuary and was standing nearby. And it brought people comfort when they would turn, look at her, look for me, see me, and they could see that I did have a weapon. But in that situation, should have been slightly different. I didn't feel the need to present it to her. But should a situation be slightly different, being able to just make it a little bit more known that I do have a weapon could be a deterrent for people if they are looking to cause harm. Again, not legal advice, and this may be totally stupid, and if it is, let me know, please. But this is just the way that I process things. I like being able to show that I have a gun in certain situations. Obviously, there's going to be situations where I want to hide it, and I can't do that. And I'll go back to appendix carry most of the time, but chances are at church I'm going to continue to open carry outside the waistband so that I can show people that this church is guarded by at least one armed individual. I used to be hard against open carry, and I still am in a lot of situations. And this ain't going to be something that I continue to do a lot, just open carry. I'll probably outside the waistband carry and, be able to throw a layer over top of it. It'd be really nice to be able to carry a larger gun. This is a good way to do it. And even with this, there was several situations where I could just take my shirt and just throw it over top of it and nobody noticed. So then it would no longer technically be open carry. It would just be outside the waistband. I guess kind of concealed carry. The holster would still stick out a little bit. But again, nobody really pays attention to it. Chances are I'll continue to carry outside the waistband, but I did want to do it for 2 months. Strictly open carry outside the waistband just to see what people thought, see what my experience was. And after doing so, I'm converted. Again, not full-time, but I've got no problems with people open carry, and I don't think it's as taboo or as stupid as I originally did think. There's a right way and a wrong way to do it. If you're walking around with a giant drop leg holster, chances are you're just asking for trouble. But hey, you do you. That's your constitutional right. If that's what you want to do, have at it. I wanted to take a little bit more professional approach to it. I didn't want to go, again, Uncle Mike's holster or a Black Hawk holster, hanging off those sweatpants. You know what I'm talking about. I went with a nice leather holster. I wear a leather belt. It looked nice. It looked more presentable and less thuggish, less like I was trying to cause a scene. And again, it gave it a little bit more professional look, more professional approach. And I think that helped a little bit with people's perception of when they would see it. again, is something that you need to be aware of what you're getting into if you are going to open carry. The biggest threat for me was somebody stealing my gun, and it's not that hard to alleviate that with something with a little bit of added active retention. Somebody could absolutely still take this from me, but that's why it's important to pay attention to the people around you, pay attention to your surroundings. But overall, yeah, I'm converted after 6 months. I mean, after 60 days of open carry outside the waistband. I'm a fan of it. There's a time and a place for it. I carry in a fanny pack sometimes, carry appendix inside the waistband sometimes, and now I will carry outside the waistband open carry at certain times as well. If you've got any experience open carrying, let me know. Let me know your thoughts on it, your opinions. I would love to hear that. I think that's all I have for you. I appreciate you watching. I will catch you on the next one.